Welcome to Audio Path, where we let you in on our experiences, insights, and real-life scenarios working in the music industry. I'm Trent, and I've been a studio owner and operator, a music venue owner and operator, and a musician.
And I'm John. I've been a mix engineer, mastering engineer, live sound technician.
And together, we've got 30 years of experience in the music industry.
Whether you're an artist, an engineer, or somebody who just really likes music, these stories are for you.
Come with us as we pull back the curtain of the music industry.
And let's take a walk down the audio path.
Here we are.
Here we are.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Audio Path.
Audio Path, episode 14.
14, man. I can't believe we're on episode 14.
I know.
It's sweet.
Cruising.
We are.
It's great.
Trent, what are we talking about today?
Today we have a controversial topic.
Ooh.
The analog versus digital conversation.
We're here. We're
Yep.
at the conversation.
That's right.
Yep.
This one's been on our topic list since the very beginning.
Yep.
And knew the day would come. So let's dive into it. This is an age-old thing. Well, I guess this when digital started coming around, that's when it really got going. So talk to me first, John. Tell me what are your thoughts, and let's go in general first.
Okay.
In general.
In general, I will say I love digital.
All right. All right.
I am an in-the-box guy. I just am. And some of that is because of when I started learning all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just, I stepped into the digital world like primarily, but I mean, sort of. Like, I've mixed on analog consoles and whatnot. But as far as studio goes, like I literally own, like my studio is comprised of my computer, an audio interface, monitors, room treatment.
Yeah. So you're primarily digital in that regard. Yeah.
In terms of like the recording setup or the mixing setup. I mean, I've got analog stuff for like I have guitar amplifiers and I have 3 pedal boards.
Right.
Don't tell my wife.
That's right.
I have last time I counted, I have like 23 guitars and so producing is a little bit different for me, but for the most part, when I'm mixing, I'm in the box, man.
Plugging away.
Mm-hmm. But
that's right.
Nice.
That's right.
So yeah, that's me, man. What about you?
Cool. Yeah. I would say in general, I kind of fall into like a hybrid, like I've always been a hybrid kind of thing.
Yeah.
To where I've always used, it sounds like you're similar in a way, but I've always leaned as far into analog as I could, but with trying to utilize the advantages of digital at the same time. I use a lot of plugins in the studio, but I also use a fair amount of outboard gear. I'm big into preamps. I like exploring different flavors of that. I like, of course, microphones, and you're not going to really get away unless you're using like a USB mic. You're not going to get around that analog part of it.
Yeah.
But I have analog compression, I have analog EQs, I have saturators, I've got, a decent amount of outboard gear that I use in every mix. So I do a little bit of both. I guess if it was like, all right, you have to choose one ship to jump on or you're in the ocean, then I probably would go digital.
Mm-hmm.
I think that at first, like when I first got started in all of this, it was, a little, as far as studio goes, before you did, I would imagine. It was back in 2006-ish time frame. So digital was like on its way up, but it wasn't like the main, like it hadn't overtaken some of the mainstream, things yet. Like now I feel like you go to most concerts, you're going to see a digital console. You go into a lot of studios and you might see a digital console there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or no console at all. And like if if anyone is curious about what I've got going on at Hourglass, go to hourglassstudios.com and you can see pictures of the studio and you can see all my equipment. And you'll see that I have an Avid S3 digital controller.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly a console per se, but I have a digital controller. But if you look closely, right beside it to the right, the first thing in that rack is an analog summing mixer.
Mm-hmm.
So right then and there, I'm trying to get the analog warmth of a console. Basically, it's the Neve satellite, so it's just the Neve console sound kind of jammed down into like a 2U box, basically.
Nice.
Of course, it doesn't have all of the features that like a 5088 would have, but it has got this signature circuitry that the sound of those consoles kind of are comprised of.
Mm-hmm.
So I look to get as much of that as I can, like I said, but I would say the reason I would jump to the digital ship is because just the way that it is progressing over the years.
Yeah.
Like when I first got started back then, it wasn't, a whole lot to really throw a stick at, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, wow, okay, the sound is pretty solid. Like you're not really taking too much of a compromise with some plugins versus some analogs, clones of the same thing. Some, of course, but you can find the right ones. And then the recall is amazing. Like I couldn't get away from that ever. There was when I was building this place, I was considering, should I make a jump to a console? Like I actually will have enough space for one at this point. Should I do it? And the recall, I think, was the thing that tipped me back the other way.
Yeah.
It's like I know there's some analog consoles that do claim to have good recall, but the more I researched, it's just like it can't get everything.
Yeah.
And
I think it would be worth talking about some of that progression because maybe there's some listeners who don't understand, maybe they're kind of newer and they don't understand what digital used to be like.
Yeah.
So like let's just talk about, so you're mentioning recall, right?
Yeah.
So in the analog world, recall was you had like a sheet of paper, right? Like you had these sheets of paper that had like little drawings of the knobs on them, and you would take like a pen and you'd mark like, okay, this one was at 8 and this one was at 3,
right,
or whatever. And you had like, that's how you recalled. And then like, the old school studio assistant, the intern, that was their job, was to like, hey, we're going to go, hop back into this session, go in there with the recall sheets and just like put it back the way that it was. Was analog.
Yeah. Yeah. It could take 30 minutes to recall a song or a session, right?
Yep.
And that's exactly what it was. And that's a lot of time whenever you start working with a lot of different projects. And that would even be on a per song basis, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the settings would be different for each song in some degree. So you'd have to take a pause and be like, all right, let me cue up the tape machine and then we're going to play this one. But I got to make sure that the compressors are all set to
Yep. And I got to make sure all my patching is done right.
Right.
All of that.
And, I think there's definitely some shackles that come with that. But I think that at that time, there might have been some freedom that was there because it was so laborious to cue something back up and take another pass at it. And some like mixing was kind of done in real time in some aspects. Like automation wasn't really a thing at a certain point. And so, the guitar solo comes, there's an engineer as it's recording to the tape that's sitting up there that pushes the guitar solo up, right?
Yep.
Or ducks something down or whatever else happens. And so that type of thing would be like, at the end of the day, like, here's your mix. There wasn't any like, hey, let me come back and tweak that hi-hat up a little bit, like revision, right?
Yeah. It'd be like, we're going to just reprint this.
Yeah, we're like, nope, this is what you get. We're moving on.
There was automation and it was right here.
Yeah, that's right. It was real time. And so there's a little bit of freedom in that to know that like it almost behaved a little bit more like a live performance, which is cool. But then, you got to live with what you get at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are some people out there that were like, yeah, I wish I could have changed that one thing, but it hit the market, and now it is what it is,
Yeah.
right?
I've got a friend who lives here in town, and he's an old school engineer. I mean,
Oh, cool.
he operated a studio in Asheville for years. He's retired here, and we've become friends. And like picking this guy's brain has been awesome because he's got all these crazy stories about like, oh, well, back in the day, you know, when we were recording the tape, he was like, it truly was a skill to punch in because not everyone's like tape, depending on the brand or whatever, it had a certain like amount of delay, and like you had to know that machine really well in order to hit the punch in at the right time, and you're recording the tape. So it's not like you can, you know, command Z.
Right.
It's like if you get that punch wrong, you just destroyed somebody's track.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
Yeah.
And just thinking about that is a little bit wild to
It
me.
is wild.
Just thinking like I can't just undo what I just did and try again. I mean, man, like old school engineers, I have a huge amount of respect for because they just had this skill set that was so critical and so difficult to hone.
Yeah.
And it took years and years and years. And like,
Yeah. Not just anyone was getting in there doing that.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, you know, we work in an industry and we live in a day and time where information is like pretty gate kept by people who have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons we started this podcast is because like we don't want to be gatekeepers of information.
Yeah. Trying to share and help people.
Yeah. And like that is just another example of, it was super gate kept back then, but it kind of
It was
had
like
to be
physical skill that you had to have, right?
Yeah, it kind of had to be. And, you know, you had to really trust that the people you were working with could do the job and knew what they were doing. And,
Totally.
you know, it's not so much that way today, but I do think analog world is why there's still so much gatekeeping. Like in a time where we have so much access to information, why are we still gatekeeping it?
Yeah.
You know? And
know.
I think it could be some of this.
That could be true. And we talked about in earlier episodes that, the age of the internet now, like there is so much out there, but you really got to be careful because there's a lot of misinformation
There sure
out there.
is. Yeah.
And you can start studying something, whether it's a mixing technique or something like that, and it can really hurt you. And you may not realize it until you've like ingrained it.
Yeah.
And you'll have to go unlearn it.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm guilty of it. There's definitely some things that I've seen someone do or read about someone doing online, tried it, thought it was great, used it for a while, and then realized it was not great. It was hurting my mixes. Right.
Yep.
So that's back to what you're saying. Like, and like maybe that person was not. I don't want to say people are putting that out there on purpose, but it's just like they learned it wrong from someone else, or it only applied to one thing, and you just got to be careful how you use it. That's why I feel like we try to talk on this podcast in a lot of general ways, and hopes that people can take our experiences and feedback and apply them more specifically on their own.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say anything probably that hasn't been said about analog versus digital.
Same. Yeah.
But what we can offer is just opinions, and that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
I have an opinion that may be kind of a hot take.
Okay. What's up?
But I think when you talk to, this has just been my experience, when I talk to people who are like vehemently against digital, they almost always are kind of like, they tried some first iterations of digital stuff and they were like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And they never tried anything else.
Right.
And that, like, the digital world has changed so much. I mean, when plugins were first becoming a thing, really, plugin designers were like trying to just copy what a piece of analog gear could do.
Yeah.
And they weren't great. Like, they could not hold up.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
And, now we're at a point where the modeling has become so good. Sure, you're not maybe going to get like the perfect, Pultec copy or whatever, but you're going to get something that does exactly what it does, and it's going to do it pretty darn well, and it's going to sound good.
Agreed.
Here's an example of this. One of the first like digital, we were talking about recall. One of the first digital recall consoles that I'm aware of, and I think we may have talked about this, but so we had, going back, we had these like sheets, and you like wrote on there like what it looked like or whatever. So there was this console. It was called the Langley Recall. Okay.
That rings a bell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've talked to you about this.
Yeah.
So Bethel had one in their studio, their broadcast studio, for like a long time,
That's right.
and they really were only using it for preamps. But yeah, I'd never seen anything quite like this. Like it literally, these consoles were recall consoles, so they were like analog, but they had like, I wouldn't even call it digital.
Yeah.
Literally, you could just store,
Yeah.
like, save what it looked like, and it wouldn't, like, it wasn't automated. It wouldn't, like, change it.
Yeah.
But if you hit a button, it would literally, it was like Rupert Neve's voice that would come on.
That's awesome.
And he'd literally just be like, knob B27 to level 3.
So you
Knob, yeah, he literally, and you're literally just like, you're just listening, and you're like, okay, and the next one, and like, which is, I mean, it sounds,
that's kind of cool though.
it sounds crazy
Yeah.
in today's land, because like
It would just do it.
it would just do it,
Yeah.
right? But like that was one of the first versions of like progressing toward
Yeah.
digital. And so when I talk to people who are like, digital is just terrible, you know, that's what 90% of them are thinking of.
Right. Yeah.
They're thinking of like some old, outdated technology that was like the beginning phase.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I had a similar feeling towards guitar emulators.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I got started on, you know, or tried like early ones like Avid's like 11, which is turned into be a pretty good one now, but early on I just was like, this thing does not sound like a guitar amp at all.
Yeah.
You know, or it does, but there's something not right about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like I've got examples of that too, like those old Spider amps. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dude.
Similar kind of thing. It's like, this just doesn't sound good.
Right.
What was the first Line 6 one really? Like the Pod,
Oh, the
POD?
Pod. Yeah, that one was really popular.
Yes.
And because I think of the time, that was one of the best ones.
I
out
agree.
there. Yeah, and it is on a lot of records.
Mhm.
Yeah, whether you know it
Whether
or
you know it or
not.
not. Yeah.
And so, but see, so I had a similar experience with that, and then I just kind of like swore that stuff off. But then now, like, I'm darn close to just getting like a quad Cortex or a Kemper for the studio. And I know there's a lot of studios that have them, you know, and just foregoing all of my amps and miking them up and all of that good stuff, you know.
They still have a place.
They do. And like, I wouldn't say that would be, you know, it would be a lost kind of thing, but I think there always will be a place for them. People will always want them. But I know a lot of guitar players that are just walking into the gig with their guitar and their pedal board.
Guilty.
Yeah. And they have an emulator. Strymon makes a really good one, and it's only that big, you know? And it sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Dude, I hate to say this really, and I don't know. Maybe I hate to say this, maybe I don't. Like, if I'm producing, I'm not plugging my amps in at home really much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I am if I want very specific sounds. But yeah, if I'm just doing something real quick and I'm just like throwing a guitar line on, I have a Walrus ACS1 with two really great, it's stereo, and I have two really great IRs in there from Tone Factor, which is a smaller company. I think they're based in like Nashville, maybe California. I can't remember. But it's David Hislop, he's a great guitar player, and Kenyon Reed. They both started this company. And they're making these IRs that are like stupidly good.
Nice.
I mean, they sound awesome.
Yeah.
And even to the point where, like, you know how sometimes you take something that was recorded through an IR, and like historically when I'm mixing, I can't do that much with it.
Yeah.
Because it like gets real brittle and sounds bad if you don't just like leave it alone.
Right.
These don't do that.
Yeah.
They're called, they called them XR IRs, so extreme reality
Nice.
impulse responses.
Yeah, there you go.
And they really are. And like that's just another example of like, you know, there are people out there who are trying as best as they can to like do digital really well.
Yeah, to evolve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's there. I would say it's there for a lot of things. Like, I have people that bring in their quad Cortexes to the studio, and they have 4 or 5 different like amp modeled settings that they are like, yeah, these are kind of my songs, and like they just do a couple of clicks, and I'm like, God. and it's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it sounds really good. And then, and what does that do? So then when it comes time to mix it, I don't do anything to it.
Yep.
It's like
It just
already
sounds
ready
good.
to go. Yeah.
Imagine that. You
Yeah.
don't do anything to
Yeah,
it.
you don't. I know, right? Weird, right?
Crazy.
But yeah, like I don't, like there's no need for additional EQ or, you know, maybe a teensy bit of compression just to, if it was stereo, to bring the two channels somewhere together. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, like it's good to go.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Yeah, I will say this too, like as a keyboard player as well,
okay.
who also, you know, is a guitarist. It's funny to me because, you know, there was a pushback that kind of was the wave before the guitar modeling.
Certainly.
And that was all of these people who, like when Omnisphere came out and Keyscape or whatever, people were like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
You know, because keyboards sounded really bad for like a long time.
They did.
And unless you were up there with like an actual synthesizer or whatever, like doing the sounds that you know, like it wasn't gonna sound good. But, and I'm not saying like that Spectrasonics, the company that makes both of those, I'm not saying that they reinvented the wheel necessarily, but they kind of did. Like their samples and models are some of the best captured ever for the instrument. And I mean, I'm a fully in the box keys guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have like, I don't have anything.
I have a keyboard.
I have a
You're
MIDI controller,
yeah.
and I have Ableton, and I've got Keyscape and Omnisphere and a bunch of other things that I use, and that's it for me. Like that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know. Now, granted, I have a really great like upright piano that sometimes I'll track with, but
Yeah, which is cool. But see, that kind of comes back to it, like that's not practical to take to the gigs, right?
Yeah, I'm not putting my piano in a
on
U-Haul
the back of the truck to go to play for 2 hours
and
or less.
loading it in.
Yeah, no, that's just not a thing. And then, you know, that's like some venues, or, well, I guess you still see them like piano bars and stuff like that. Like if you were a keyboard player back in the day, you would have to hope that the place that you were playing had a keyboard, or you wouldn't be able to play there.
Right.
Excuse me, a piano.
Yes.
A piano. Yes, yes.
For sure.
So that's just like part of the evolution, and now people can carry around. Keyboards are still pretty big and bulky, and so on and so forth. But some people, like yourself, you take Ableton and a MIDI keyboard and get it going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And and it works great.
Right.
Yeah.
But the sounds on them are way better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Nord makes a fantastic
They do.
grand piano sound.
Yeah, and Nord is, I mean, you know, I'm a worship guy. It will probably not surprise anybody to hear that I love Nord keyboards, but the reality is a Nord stage, what are they on now? 4, 5? I can't even remember.
I think there's 5. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to cost you like $6,000.
They're expensive. Yeah.
And, you know, I can show up with my Arturia Keylab, which cost me like $200-something back when I bought it. I don't know how much it is now.
Right.
And like get amazing sounds. The feel is what you pay for on a Nord.
It is. It feels like a piano.
It truly does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've put a lot of technology into making that a reality. But anyway, yeah. But it's funny, you know, while we're kind of talking keyboards, another example of some of the first digital things coming out really were synthesizers. And people hated synthesizers when they came out. They're like, this will never replace the sound of an oboe.
Right.
Or whatever. And it didn't. It just became its own thing.
It did.
You know?
Shout out Moog.
That's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think the evolution will continue. It's gotten really good, and I think it's just going to keep getting better.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think we're going to see a lot more from in the guitar world, the piano world for sure. The one thing that I don't think has quite caught up, and maybe I'm just not paid enough attention to it, so correct me if you know of something that is there, but drums. Digital drum sounds or electronic drum kits, I just think are not there.
They're getting there,
They're getting closer. And
Yeah.
you could say you use like a kit to trigger samples, and some of the samples are sounding pretty legit. I will give you that. But then the feel is not the same.
Yeah.
Haven't seen one that's like playing in an analog drum kit.
Yeah.
Quite yet.
We're about to make some drummers mad by talking about sampling on drums.
Yeah. This is
But yeah, I will say though, like that is progressing. There are some, because I really looked into this for a while, because I don't have a huge space. I was like, man, like if I get a drum kit, it'll probably have to be electric. Ugh.
Yeah, right.
But there are some companies, I'll name two examples, that are doing like hybrid setups that are really, they're really not bad at all.
Okay.
So they're basically taking actual drum shells and they are putting like an actual drum head on it, and some are doing different forms of dampening or whatever. And then you're using, like, that's what you're actually hitting, but it's not creating a huge amount of sound. And it's also sampling. So there's like a sampling brain in there too.
Interesting.
There's a company, I think they're based in England, called Joe Becky.
Okay.
If they're still around. My research is kind of old on this. I mean, this was like 4 or 5 years ago when I was looking into it. But Joe Becky, everyone seems to think like, yeah, that's it. Because they're taking like, it's all custom. So they're taking actual drum shells. They're doing exactly what I was just saying, the whole 9 yards. Then they're putting triggers inside of these drums, and they're like basically whichever sample brain you like the best, whether it's like Roland V drums or whatever.
Yeah.
They're using that. They're buying just that, and they're making it this hybrid system basically.
Okay. Cool.
Same thing with their cymbals. Cymbals are just tough though. I mean, like they're just tough. Nothing feels like a real cymbal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's hard. But DW is also doing something very similar. There's a church in town, and they're like a portable church, and they've got a really great drummer and everything, and they have one of those. And they're putting custom samples in to the DW kit, and it sounds great. My friend Gavin is a drummer in town here, and he has one. He liked that one so much that he bought his own.
All right.
And it's like in his guest room, you know, and that's what he plays on.
Tight.
And I've played it, and like the cymbals are the only thing that are like, man, but the drums feel great.
Yeah.
Like they actually do.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. To me, drums are just a straight up analog instrument.
That's
man.
right. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sound so much better.
Yeah.
If you can properly record them.
Yep.
It's just.
And that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Like properly recorded drums.
Properly recorded, and then the player, of course, the feel of playing the kit makes a big difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one more thing on that topic, I just feel like I need to get this out there. When it comes to samples, okay, like if you're in the studio world, we all do it.
Let's talk
I try
about
to do it. Yeah, I try to do it as little as possible.
I do too. I almost never, basically. It's my was my thing. It was something my professors tried to instill.
Yeah.
They were like, listen, just learn how to, like, what is a sample? A properly recorded thing.
Yeah.
Just learn how to record the thing the right way, and then you'll be good.
Yes.
You know, it's like teaching a man how to fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same type of analogy there. So it's like I wanted to make it a point that I learned how to record good drum sounds.
Good for you.
So that I didn't have to ever do sample replacement.
Yep.
So that everything that we produced was unique.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like, oh, yeah, you heard that same sample on this song. No, they're all unique. It's, it's either my kit or the band's kit, and boom. So I guess you might hear my kit on a lot of different things, but that's different.
Right.
It's still my unique thing.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, and honestly, to that end, the best samples that you can get for your drums are ones that you make of the drums.
Of the drums.
Because I mean, there's a time and a place for sampling, and I think it's consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get a velocity that you really like on the snare, like just it was hit perfectly this one time or whatever, and you're in a genre where you need a perfect snare hit every single time.
Yep.
Sure, just take that one that the guy did and just sample it in everywhere that it requires that perfect snare drum hit.
Totally.
I'm much more inclined now to do that than grab some random sample off the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
take a pack. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm with that.
Now, granted, sometimes depending on the genre, I will confess modern worship is one of those. People want a very specific snare sound.
Yeah.
And anybody who mixes modern worship has this one snare sample and this one kick sample, and it's just the sound.
Those are the ones.
It's just like if you want it to sound like the industry standard, you need a mix engineer that's gonna put that sample on every single snare hit. And I kind of love it because I love the consistency of the genre, but I also hate it.
Right.
Because
it takes away from the uniqueness.
Yeah, it's like, man, this guy's snare sounded really good, but it's just not what this song it's not going to make the client happy if I use this snare sound.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
I'm also really picky about sampling toms. I do not ever want to sample a tom.
Yeah.
If I can just, ideally, if I'm recording and I can just get them to do a pass that's just a tom's pass, and then I can do like whatever I want to them. Like crazy EQ moves I couldn't do if they were picking up cymbals, crazy compression that I couldn't do if like everything else was getting picked up.
Right.
You know, gating will get you so far.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's my preference. I mean, sometimes, especially doing a lot of these like live worship songs that I do now, people just didn't tune their drums.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like it just, you know, they hit the tom and it's like,
right.
and you're like,
It's
okay.
a little flappy.
It's like, and that's going to get sampled.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What can you do, right?
Not much.
Yeah. And I mean, but see, on the other end of that, in like the indie rock genre or field that I work in a lot, like we'll have an obvious overtone on the snare. And I'm like, my engineer brain's like, I'm all chop that bad boy out, or like, you know, let's put something on that snare to make that go away. But then the player's like, I love it. Like, I think it fits this song great. I know that it's going to be heard, and I am totally okay with that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll have it in there then. It will make it unique.
Yes.
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I kind of really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, in modern worship, there is a well curated, developed sound, and it's just what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not terribly, I hate to say it, it's not terribly creative anymore. Like
Right.
Right. You know, if you want to, everybody just wants to sound like Bethel Church or Elevation Church, and the reason for that is because they sound awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm at a point where it's like, I really enjoy when somebody wants to just do something totally different.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that too.
I think it's kind of cool where you're like, I know what this should sound like. I don't think I want that. I want to do something else.
Carving their own path.
Carving their own path. That's right.
I will say a couple more things in analog's favor. I like to be able to reach over and twist a knob.
Totally.
Or press a button, you know, and see it happening right there and be able to change it, you know, tactile, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really nice. It gives you a little bit more of a connection to what's happening in the moment, I think, than just on the screen and moving the mouse and the keyboard. So I'll always have like that as like, that's in the pros column for sure. And I want to keep that there. And now some, you know, digital consoles have a lot of that going on too. I mean, you can't navigate it without moving some knobs and buttons and faders and stuff, right? So you still get a little bit about that there. But in the studio world, it can be all through the interface and in the box, like you're saying, and then you don't have quite as much about that. So that's one thing that I do like, you know, is being able to just reach over and give it a little nudge on the gain or, you know, change that ratio or something.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether to call this a pro or a con, but one of the things that I try to take away from analog world and from the people that I, you know, have come to know that are from that world firmly is I think digital creators, I've been there myself and I've seen a lot of other like creators who do this, but they wind up like not committing anything.
Yes.
And they wind up having CPU overloads and like, you know, then they're getting mad at their computer and stuff. And I'm like, you know, this one guy, he like called me up and he's like, hey, a friend of mine told me like, you're really good with Ableton. Can you like do a consultation with me? I don't know what's going on with my session. I cannot figure it out. Sure enough, pulled a session up and dude had like, it's like literally all these different like plugins and changes and like nothing was like balanced in place at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you got to commit some stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, bounce it in place.
That's right.
Like hit a point where it's like, okay,
print that
sucker, man. Like get it done. And he kind of freaked out a little bit and was like, I don't know, like what if I want to go back? And I'm like, you know,
you kind of
can.
the wall here.
I mean, you know, and it's like this is, you know, in Logic it's called project alternatives. So like save an alternative at a certain place before you make a big commitment so you can go back if you need to. I mean, that's the benefit of digital, but don't be afraid. I think I think if I could just say one thing to that end is like, don't be afraid to commit some stuff to the track.
Yeah.
Just do it. You know, does it sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. Like,
Right.
do it and move on to the next thing.
That's right. If it sounds good, it is good.
Exactly.
You know, and like I wholeheartedly believe in that. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's and the older I get or the more experienced I get, the more years I put into this, the more I find myself going down the commitment pathway.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got started, I was like, okay, I've got this DAW. I can come back to it whenever I want to. So let's not make any crazy decisions
Yeah.
on the front side so that we can change it later, you
Mhm,
know, just in
mhm.
case.
Just in case.
And it was like, you know, as time goes on, it's like, it would have sounded great if I just would have done that. And I didn't come back and change it really anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, I spent more time trying to get the raw sound to what I wanted in my mind because I didn't do anything to it on the way in, or, you know, instead of using the Fender Deluxe Reverb's reverb tank that would have been awesome,
Mm-hmm.
I said, nah, we're going to do it dry. And then I spent 30 minutes hunting down a reverb plugin to try to emulate the thing that I could have just recorded.
Just commit.
Yes, the commitment. Now, there's some things that, like, you know, you should be careful with, right? Like some delays and maybe some reverbs and like time and like how, you know, do you want it to be locked in with your metronome, and that can only happen in the system versus, you know, using a delay pedal that's like the Carbon Copy is a good example. It doesn't even have like a tap tempo, right? So you can't even tap it to the things. You just have to like kind of guess. But even that, if it's close, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's still probably going to be good.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, you know, the last thing I'll say about that is, and then I want to talk about some plugins.
Okay, cool.
The last thing I'll say about that on my end is I think sometimes I have gotten caught, especially when I'm producing, getting caught in trying to make it completely perfect.
Yeah.
You know, when the reality is, like, if it's, you know, depending on what it is, I mean, like, you need to be in tune, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, you need to,
In tune, in time.
yeah, like relatively in time. But if there are slight variances here and there, it's like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, true.
It really is going to be okay.
True.
You know, make it as good as it can be.
Yeah. If it's not pulling and distracting you, then it's probably fine.
It's
no
probably
one's
fine.
going to hear it then.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So.
And, you know, there are always, well, I mean, especially like listening to some of my earlier mixes, there were always places where I was like, you know, I tried to make it so perfect that I think I messed it up really bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that would have sounded better if I just let that be slightly off.
Right. Just let it alone.
Yeah.
I know. I've been that way too in some edits and stuff, and it's like I was trying to fix it, but I think it was worse now.
Yeah.
I think
it's like, I think I made this significantly
like it
worse.
definitely had a problem before, but it wasn't as bad as what I did to it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Trying to fix the problem.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. Anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, so we got a few minutes left. Why don't we talk plugins?
Let's do it.
I think we probably should approach this from like some categories, maybe.
Sure.
Because I mean, there are so many plugins, but let's start with the basics. EQ.
EQ.
What are you reaching for? If you're gonna do some EQ moves,
Yeah.
what are you typically doing?
Okay, so this one's an easy one because I have my tried and true, and it will probably be that way for a lot of different people. The Fab Filter Pro Q3, they have a 4 now. I'm starting to use the 4, but I haven't dove in completely with it. So the Pro Q3 is the one. I love it. It's a fantastic, it sounds great. It's pretty transparent. Like, it has a great visual, all of the features that you could potentially need. It's just a very easy to use workflow type of plugin.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a whole lot of crazy bells and whistles. You shouldn't need too much for an EQ plugin, but it's very streamlined.
Yeah.
And I like
And it actually does quite a lot.
It can do, like,
I
if
mean,
you open the hood, like, there's a serious engine under there. Like, it can go.
Yeah.
Do some really cool things. But
Yep.
that one's my one.
Cool.
What about you?
So that's kind of your utility EQ?
Yeah, that's my utility EQ.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not going for flavor really with it, but it's the one that I do some chopping with, take things out with, and just kind of like my standard one that I go to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Same one.
I mean,
it's great.
it's industry standard for a reason. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I also haven't upgraded to 4. I really like some of the features that I'm seeing, but I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this in a previous episode. I just wait a really long time to update. If I don't need the update or it doesn't have something that I want, I just don't.
Yeah, totally.
But so coloration EQs, or kind of like, if you're not doing surgical mute moves or whatever, what are you doing?
That's a good question. I might reach for like a saturator that has EQ built into it for stuff like that.
Yep.
That's gonna really do something to the sound.
Yeah.
FabFilter Saturn is one of the ones that I go to. Because if I'm looking to really change it, then I think saturation is a good place to start.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna put something on there. You know what I mean?
It will, man. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you go for?
Yeah, so many different ones for coloration EQ. Like, I'll just name a few of them. UAD Pultec.
The Pultec stuff is good.
Yeah, the UAD models of the Pultec are awesome. You can do like really broad, and as a mastering engineer, this is what I do a lot. I'm doing broad brush strokes.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about that too. So that one's really great as far as I'm concerned for that kind of stuff. I love the API EQs. I mean, you can do wild moves that sound so artistic and good with APIs stuff. And, the models that I really like are, the UAD models as well. But the waves models I think are phenomenal too. I mean, I'm using those a lot. Like the 550 and 560 are pretty great.
Yeah.
And let's see, what else do I typically reach for as far as EQs? Well, I'll save one.
Save one, yeah.
Save one for another topic.
I forgot about one since you brought that up. The SSL channel strip, the EQ.
That's what I was going to save.
No,
no, you're good. Let's talk about channel strips.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
The
so
EQ
next topic
is a very musical one right there.
Yeah.
And I will go for that one if from time to time. Yeah. It's good.
Totally.
Yeah.
It is so musical, and it's so, I don't know. I just love the SSL sound. I really do. I mean, like, a ton of my mixes are just the sound of SSL, really. But yeah, the EQ on it's awesome. Its compression is beautiful.
It's really good too.
God, it's beautiful. So, speaking of which, compression.
Yeah. What are we doing for compression?
Yep.
Okay, this one I go in a broader range for, I think. I don't know if I have as many go-tos. I have a couple. So I really like Oxford Dynamics. The Oxford compressors are really good from Sonex. And I also I will go towards like a LA2A Waves or the 1176, also Waves. Those two are pretty prominent in my mixes. Distressors.
Ooh.
I like the distressors. I have outboard gear or outboard units of those. And so those get used. Let's see. There's a lot in the compressor realm.
There really is, yeah.
There really is. I've been using some I've been using the Pro C2. The Fab Filter compressor is really good
it's great.
too.
So many options.
You could just get a little Fab Filter bundle and you'd be in pretty good shape.
I agree.
Honestly. Let's see. I've been going a little off in the niche area. The Safari pedals. They have two compressors. The Owl is a really good one.
I have it, but honestly, I've never even used it.
It's pretty cool, man. It has a weird behavior about it, but I think it sounds pretty good.
Cool.
Like, it's just one of those that you're going to have to kind of fiddle with for a little while, though.
I got you.
If you're in a hurry, you probably don't want to pull that one out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah. Cool. What about you?
Dude, it so depends on what I'm putting into it.
Yep.
I mean, probably same for you. everything you just mentioned is in my toolkit, and I use it kind of depending.
Yeah.
I'll approach this kind of from a like what I typically am putting into it. Let's see here. Bass. I love an LA2A
Yep.
on the bass. Just the smooth optical style compression. I really like the Waves one a lot, the
Yep.
2A model. Same thing with the, 1176 model by Waves.
Yep.
Vocals are just awesome through that. They really just kind of, it grabs the vocal, and it, depending on the genre, it can really do good things with it. I love the DBX 160.
Yep.
I really do, especially on certain drums.
Yep. I use that on drums too.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. API 2500.
Yep.
Use it. I mean, it's a bus compressor, but it can work on so many different things.
Yeah.
I mean, it really can. And
Yeah.
it can be super musical. Again, it's API. So,
Right.
there are just like so many different versions of them that I use on things. But yeah, I'd say those are kind of the main ones I'm typically reaching for in general.
The SSLG comp.
Okay, yes.
That one for sure.
Oh, dude, yes.
It's on there. I use that bad boy a lot.
Dude.
I don't know why I didn't think of that in the front end of this conversation, because it is, it's on almost every mix at this point.
Yep.
And
it's because it's awesome.
On something, you know. Honorable mention, I would say, the R compressor, R comp, the Renaissance compressor from Waves. I use it on guitars a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's smooth.
Yes.
It's a smooth operator.
Yeah, I agree. I love the entire Renaissance line, actually.
Same.
I mean, our Vox, our bass kind of doing its own thing.
Yep.
What is it called? Like is it Axe is the dedicated guitar one?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
But yeah, just the straight up R comp though, dude.
It's great.
It is.
Yeah. It's easy to use, easy to dial in, and it's, I think, smooth. It sounds good.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
So there's just so many different
There's so many different ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot less on the EQ train, but when it comes to compressors, there's so many out there.
I agree.
You know?
All right. Because there's so many of all of these. Let's do two more categories.
Okay.
Let's do reverb.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
What you got?
There we go. I thought you were going to say the second one. Okay. Reverb. So for the longest time, I really liked True Verb.
Okay. Yeah.
From Waves.
Mm-hmm.
There was just something about it. I just thought it sounded really good. And I kept finding myself putting it on a lot of things, especially on drum toms. Sounded really good on toms. Now I've moved on. I still use that one, but the R2 from Fab Filters.
Oh yeah,
is used a lot. I use that one a bunch. It sounds great. It has a lot of features, so you can really mold it to make it do whatever you want it to do. And it's pretty intuitive, just like all the other Fab stuff. I use the Waves like Abbey Road series stuff. There's a plate verb that sounds really good. A chamber one that's also really good too. The let's see. I've been using one of my favorites for like big like maybe chorus background vocals is the H verb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a Waves plugin too. And the H they have like a H series. And the verb on there is really good. I use the H delay a lot too, which maybe we'll get to that. But the H verb is awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. I've been exploring recently with the Safari pedals reverbs, and there's some cool ones there. The Ladybug.
Yeah, dude, I just used that on a track. Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Yeah. And it has like a little lo-fi feature on it, which is dope.
It's vibey.
Yeah. What about you?
Cool. Again, it varies massively.
Yeah.
Some of those choices right there with you.
Yeah.
The ones I would add that I really use pretty much constantly are Valhalla.
Gosh, how did I forget about that one? It's
Valhalla,
it's all most of my mixes.
Yeah, their plate reverb is just awesome.
Yeah,
like it's one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah,
especially on drums. Like I really, really love that reverb.
Yeah,
on drums. let's see here. But also, I mean, their vintage verb
I like the
is
vintage.
sweet.
Use it on vocals a lot.
Exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
You got it.
Yep.
And then there's a company called Liquid Sonics, and they're making their reverbs are awesome. They're not cheap,
Okay.
but they're like their flagship does like that classic Bricasti sound,
Yeah.
and it's like the best model of one that I've ever heard. It's just awesome.
Okay. Nice.
They also have one called Tai Chi, and I mean that's quickly becoming a go-to for me. Tai Chi is dope.
Tai Chi.
Like, that's a great reverb plugin.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So delays.
Okay. Yeah. Delays. So the age delay,
Mhm.
like I just kind of threw out there ahead of the gate. Let's see. One that I'm getting into more now, which I found some really cool uses for it, but I couldn't say that it's a broad use yet, is the Timeless 3
Okay.
Pro Fab filters. And it's cool, man. It's got a lot of different modulation potential features in it, and it can do some really cool stuff. I've been kind of messing with it for some spacey kind of guitar sounds.
Nice.
That I've been kind of hunting down, you know. I've been going for that one, and I've had pretty good luck with finding some cool stuff. Let's see, what else do I go for? Those are probably my top 3, I would say. Well, let's see, the H delay, the Timeless, and then there's another Waves delay, but I'm blanking on the name of it right now that I use a lot. What about you? Maybe it'll come back to me.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of them because I
Yeah.
have 2 or 3, and they just do what I need them to
Yeah,
do, really, because
yeah.
it's a delay. It's
Right.
not that complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the Sound Toys one.
Okay.
What is it called? The I'm blanking on the name, but the stereo Sound
Right.
Toys
Mhm.
delay.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked about Sound Toys, but I really love Sound Toys plugins.
Yeah.
I use them.
They're pretty
good
popular.
bit.
I don't have that many of them. I need to look into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, their decapitator is
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and
That's
Devil
right.
Lock.
I've heard about the decapitator, yeah.
Yeah, both of them are sweet. Let's see. So those, and then y'all don't get on to me for this, but I use Logic's stock delay plugin a lot.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's a
now.
delay.
Yeah.
How complicated is it really? It's just dial it in and call it.
Exactly.
Call it a day.
I've used Pro Tools stock delay plugin a lot too.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Pro Tools stock ones are fine.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think of it. So the Isotope delay, it's called the DDL3 or DDY3, something like that.
Okay.
It's cool. It's kind of got a vintagey kind of sound. And I mean, like you said, it's not too much to it. You just kind of set it and let it do its thing. But I've been gravitating towards it for some slapback. It just seems like it sounds good. It has a nice ping pong.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool.
I like that one.
Awesome. All right. Let's wrap it up with a wild card.
Okay.
Just what's a crazy plugin that you're using that you feel like nobody's really reaching for?
Wild plugin. So let's see. There's one from, I'm going to have a hard time thinking of who makes it, I think, but it's called the Magic Dice. And it is the wild card of plugins because it basically you put it on something and you click the dice and it rolls a random setting, and then I don't know what, there's no other settings. You just click that and
It's
it picks a whole bunch of different it's got to have some. So from listening to it, what I can hear is it's got to have some reverb settings in there somewhere. And then it's got modulation for sure. I think there's a harmonic generator in there, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it's got some sort of stutter effect in there as well. It's like they took a multi-effects pedal and just jammed it into one button, and you just hit it and it picks a bunch of random things.
That's awesome.
It's so cool.
I love that.
It's
actually
great, man. I've used it on some records actually.
Cool.
It's one of those things where if you hit it, you're like, okay, we better save this one because if you can't go back. So you're like, all right, well, we'll make a copy and then we'll try some other ones, but you gotta just leave it
Yeah.
because it won't be able to come back to the same thing.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
It's cool.
Wow.
It's cool. I wish I could. If I could think of, I'll look it up and maybe I'll put the brand in the comments here.
Yeah.
For
Nice.
people. Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's sweet, dude. Cool.
What about you?
Let's see. I feel like I could name a few, but there's one called the RC20 Color Box,
Mm-hmm.
and it is awesome.
Yeah.
For like getting something to sound really kind of like vintage, old school, vibey. I mean, it's like so many different like modulation options in one.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really more of a production tool than it is like a mix tool most of the time for me. But yeah, that one's totally awesome.
Yeah.
And then another one that I really firmly believe is a sleeper. And Waves offers it for free like almost all the time. And I'm like, why doesn't anybody like do this? But as a, in the box guy,
Yeah.
it's great for me. It's the NLS, the nonlinear summer.
Dude, they're great.
Yeah.
I put them all over the place.
Yeah. Like I'm like, cool. Like this is just gonna sound like a Neve console now.
Yeah.
Or like, this will sound like an SSL console.
Yeah.
And
or API. They've got like the
It's
majors
just-
in there. Yeah.
yeah, it's just in there. And I don't think people are using it enough.
No, I don't either, man. I'm glad you brought that one up because that one was really cool. When I first discovered it, probably, 7 to 8 years ago or something
Mhm.
like that. It was before I had an outboard or hardware analog summer.
Yeah.
And I got into that and I was like, oh, we're doing something here.
Uh-huh.
And like, if you guys go and look at it, it is very simple. Like, I think there is a drop down menu where you can get a little more like into it, but really there's just two knobs,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's like drive and then there's like a volume knob or
Yep.
something like that. And that's it,
That's it.
which is great. And
You
then
can
you
get more
can
complicated.
select which one, like Neve-ish or, API-ish. But that's really, I don't even get into the advanced because you just turn them knobs and
Yeah.
it's,
And you're like,
it's
oh,
cool.
it sounds better. Cool.
Yeah. You're like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Be careful with that one though. Like if you don't get to, unless you're intending to do it or whatever, but the drive knob can get out of control.
It can.
Quickly.
Yeah.
So,
It sure can.
yeah.
Yeah. Similarly, this is a Pro Tools. It's not even really a plugin. Like it's an add-on sort of for Pro Tools that I really think is a secret sauce, but it's called Heat.
I use Heat.
Heat is
Yes,
awesome.
I use
What I
Heat.
hate about Heat is
Yeah.
it's not available for Logic.
Yeah.
But I do a very similar thing that a lot of people do with Heat with the nonlinear summer.
Yes, I could see that.
Yeah,
It
very
definitely-
similar.
Definitely has that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but Heat is awesome.
Heat is cool. I found my heat settings that I like.
Yeah, you
the
did.
best. Yeah. Just great.
Are you one of those guys that's like every channel has Heat on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every channel does
Totally.
have heat on it.
Totally.
I guess you could bypass it, but who would do that?
Who would do that?
Yeah.
It's going to sound like, oh,
Yeah.
man.
Like,
this
why does this one
this
thing
should
not
sound
as
better.
good as all
I
the
don't know
other
why it doesn't.
things?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
okay.
it.
And I'm going to restart this mix now.
That's right. Just need a little heat on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, man. Cool.
Nice. I'm glad you brought that one up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it is like, it's not really a plugin. It's like above all the plugins and its own separate little thing, but
Yeah.
it is a plugin.
It is.
Yeah.
Totally. Cool. All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
we've talked about it. We've
We
done the
have.
topic. We've done
We
the thing.
have.
What
So-
what are you working on?
Yeah, let's see. What do we got cooking right now? I'm still working on the Jim Ellis EP. So the New Orleans vibe thing. I'm going with that. We're pretty well through the tracking phase and on that one, and we're getting into the mix soon, and that one's coming along really well.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that one. I'm also working on another kind of New Orleans style. I don't want to put it in New Orleans per se, but there is some kind of Zydeco-y kind of influences in these tunes, but it's two kind of blues guitar players as a duo that have come together. They have written some songs on their own, and then they're doing some standards as well. They've been performing live together for a while now, and they just kind of thought, hey, maybe we should record some of this stuff. And so I'm working on a EP with them. It's David Bolton and Randy McQuay. they're a great combo. I think they feed off of each other well, and the tunes are cool. It's going to be pretty. This one's interesting. Randy's a killer musician, and he came in and he's like, well, we need like we're tracking everything out separately, and he's like, we need something to kind of go off of. Like, could just cue up the metronome, but I think I'm just gonna go in there and beatbox all the beats to all 10 different songs, and then
That's
we'll
awesome.
just play to the beatbox, and we can just loop that instead of the metronome. I'm like, all right, cool.
Whatever.
And he's literally in there for like 30 minutes, and he's just beatboxing the beat for each one of the songs. And we'll probably go back and we might put full drum kit on some of them. We might just strip it down to minor percussion, but like it started out with beatboxing.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Nice.
So props to Randy for that. That was a good idea.
Sweet, man.
Yeah. How about you?
Let's see. I am going over to do like a small little installation at a church this week, and they basically have an analog or a digital console, but they never like put a digital stage box with it like a snake. So they've been running these two old analog snakes forever, and they're just like, I've gone over there and like repaired them several times, and it finally hit a point where I'm like, guys, I think it's just time.
It's time.
Like, can we just do this? So
Yeah.
they've gotten a digital stage box online, and I'm just gonna get in there and rip all the old stuff out and run some cabling and
Nice.
get them in a better spot
There
to
you
where they're
go.
not in the middle of their services hearing like. Psh, psh, psh,
Yep. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that, man.
That's right.
Nobody wants that. So
Good deal, man.
So that's what I'm doing this week.
Awesome. That sounds like a good week.
Yeah,
It'd be cool.
should be good.
Awesome.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Give
Yeah.
us a like, subscribe. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. We'd love to hear your thoughts on, are you analog, are you digital, pros, cons. We know this is a heated topic, so
That's right.
dive in. We'd
That's
love to
right.
see what you think, hear your thoughts, tell us that we're crazy because of the way we do things or whatever. It's all good.
Turn on the heat.
Turn on the heat.
That's
Don't
right.
forget the heat.
Engage.
Engaged.
Yep,
That's right.
that's right. So, check us out on audiopath.podcast.com. Shoot us a message, and until next time,
Steady the path.
steady the path.